Blessed even viewers and subscribers. You know what I'm saying? We have a hurricane watch, I'd like you guys to view what's going on. Blessings.
Very hostile with a Saharan air layer. A lot of dust, dry air just to the north where Gonzalo is. Here's a close-up imagery of Tropical Storm Gonzalo. As of the 2 o'clock advisory from the Hurricane Center, 60-mile-per-hour winds. So since the last time we spoke, it is a little bit stronger. But this is a 12-hour loop of the infrared satellite imagery. We talked a little bit about this in yesterday's video. We look at this to get the cloud top temperatures. Why that matters is the colder the cloud tops are, the stronger the convection or thunderstorm activity is, and that gives us an indication that the storm is stronger overall. When you look at this as a loop for 12 hours, you can see at the most recent image, it is struggling big time. We had some good convection last night, and then this morning, it started to really kind of wither away. So what happened? Well, remember yesterday we were talking about the dry air, the Saharan air layer that was lurking to the north? This is the water vapor satellite imagery here. And what this does shows us dry air and moist air. The dry air depicted by the oranges and yellows, the moist air, the blues, the greens, and the whites. Plenty of dry air here to the north and off to the west of the system. And a closer look at it is that some of that dry air was actually pulled into the circulation and is starting to choke it off a little bit. I also mentioned how such a small system was doing a great job of insulating itself and keeping the dry air out of its overall circulation. But that doesn't have to last forever, and as we saw here in the last 12 hours, it in fact did get influenced by that dry air as it's pushing off towards the west. Will this continue to be a trend? It could be, but again, with small systems, they can intensify rapidly, but they can also deteriorate quickly. So we'll see what happens here as it tracks off towards the west. A look at visible satellite imagery. Yeah, it still overall looks decent. You can see that rotation, that circulation there happening, but the convection really taking a hit at the current time. The updated storm track from the Hurricane Center at 2 o'clock, they still expect this to strengthen to become a Category 1 hurricane as it heads towards the Windward Islands, and at that time it's going to be around Saturday evening with winds up to around 80 miles per hour. So you need 74-mile-per-hour winds or greater to be a Category 1. With that on approach, watches have already been issued, and this is for Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines. Let's refresh ourselves on what watches and warnings mean as we go forward into the season. We're going to see a lot more of these most likely. A watch is not imminent. A watch comes before a warning. So a watch means that tropical storm or hurricane conditions are possible within 48 hours. As the timeline gets shorter, within 36 hours, that watch will be upgraded to a warning. Now, out ahead of this system as it tracks off towards the west, it is a very low rider, low latitudes here. In fact, it's located south of 10 degrees right now, extremely far to the south. But it's going to gain latitude slowly, and it's going to be running into very warm ocean waters. That's not an issue. There's plenty of fuel here. It's the dry air that we'll continue to watch and see if it gets entrained into the system further and, in fact, leads to further deterioration. Now let's jump over to Tropical Depression number 8. Yesterday we had talked about this as Invest 91L. It has been upgraded to a tropical depression, and you can see from the loop of infrared satellite imagery here, again, the cold cloud tops indicating stronger thunderstorms. It has really started to look a little bit more organized than it did just yesterday. And this is just crawling off to the west-northwest, eventually towards the Texas coastline. Hurricane Hunter aircraft flew a mission into it this morning, and they found winds getting close to tropical storm force, 39 miles per hour or greater. And you can see they clocked the wind speed there of 39 miles an hour. But still, as of this video, still a depression with 35 mile per hour winds, gusts up to around 45 or so. And you can see the track outline of the Hurricane Hunter aircraft that flew through it. So they flew a WC-130J aircraft. This is the U.S. Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunters, the 53rd Weather Reconnaissance Squadron, flying out of Keystone.